also, we have one other guest. The Jerusalem Center for Security and Foreign Affairs is advancing today the draft of the International Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Anti-Semitism. We are now joined live by the author of the draft, retired Ambassador Alan Baker, international law expert and director of the Institute for Contemporary Affairs at the Jerusalem Center for Public Affairs. Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight.
Good evening.
So obviously, what's happened in Amsterdam is sending shockwaves to people, all over the world, bringing back memories of, what happened leading up to the Holocaust, obviously. The event's obviously a good example of why this document should be advanced internationally. Tell us more on your take and how it applies and is more important because of these attacks yesterday.
Well, look, anti-Semitism has been in existence for hundreds and possibly thousands of years, and the international community has never thought it necessary to determine that anti-Semitism or acts of anti-Semitism or incitement to anti-Semitism leading to violence should be criminalized. Now, they've criminalized piracy, they've criminalized war crimes, they've criminalized crimes against humanity, taking of hostages. But despite everything that's happened, despite all the pogroms, despite the Spanish Inquisition, despite the Holocaust, the international community hasn't found it necessary to determine that anti-Semitism that leads to violence should be an international crime. And so what I've done is drafted an international convention based on the same format as all the other United Nations conventions criminalizing various acts. But I've defined anti-Semitism and called upon the governments of the world to join together and adopt this international convention and thereby determine that acts of anti-Semitism calling for or leading to or intended to cause violence are international crimes, and therefore people can be extradited, people can be put on trial. And it's not just an issue of violence between gangs. This is a crime of anti-Semitism.
So what's needed to actually advance the convention further globally?
Well, states, what we need to do is to persuade a number of states that are prepared to take this step and to bring this to the United Nations. And it has to go through the process of being accepted and adopted as an international treaty.
Also, are you optimistic that other nations will join?
No.
Wow.
Not at all. I think that the huge element of hypocrisy that we're seeing, that we've been seeing for many, many years, will be the same here. I think it will be indicative of this hypocrisy that we bring this international convention to the United Nations, and the majority of states in the United Nations will reject it. This would be the height of this anti-Semitic hypocrisy.
Thank you very, very much for joining us, and keep pushing to make a difference. Much appreciated.